Good evening, everyone. This is a meeting of the Tinton Falls Borough Council being held April 4th, 2023. This meeting is hereby called on order. Would the clerk please read the open public statement?
Pursuant to Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board at Borough Hall and by notification to the Asbury Park Press, the Newark Star Ledger, and the New Coaster at least 48 hours prior to the meeting and filing with the Borough Clerk all on December 20th, 2022.
May I ask the clerk to call the roll?
Ms. Buckley? Here. Mrs. Clay?
Here.
Dr. Dobrin?
Here.
Mr. Nessie?
Here.
Mr. Manginelli?
Here. At this time, I would like to invite everyone to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. There are no minutes for approval. At this time, our business administrator, Mr. Telefenko, will announce the promotion oath of office for the Borough of Tinton Falls Police Department.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call Chief DeLucia up. We're going to swear in one of our newest officers, Officer.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. It's another good night here in Tinton Falls. We're going to swear in another officer. Since we took over February 1st of last year, this will be the 7th new officer we've hired, and we've hit home runs, every single one of them we hired. Okay? Gabrielle came from us from Homedale. She did almost a year there. She was supposed to come here last year. Some other things happened, but she was in Homedale, and she interviewed again because she had a passion for Tinton Falls. And I said this in her swearing in on Friday. It was unbelievable to the point where I asked her if she lived here in Tinton Falls, because I've never seen in an interview in my short time being chief here someone have that much passion for Tinton Falls. She mentioned about teamwork. We're all about teamwork. This is what we're building here in Tinton Falls. We're getting better every year. Gabrielle is definitely going to be building what we're building here. With being an asset, with being teamwork, being community. We have the best police force in Monmouth County and in the state. The men and women in the back there do a phenomenal job, as we all know. Gabby will just enter our team. All right, I say ours because I don't look at myself as the leader of this police department. I'm a member of the team, and that's what we're all about here in Tinton Falls. And we will always continue to get better and better. So, Gabriella, please come up with your family, and we'll swear you in ceremonially to Tinton Falls Police Department.
Congratulations. Congrats.
Thank you.
So I want to just thank once again the officers for coming out. Obviously, this is not, going through a hiring process is tough enough, but we cannot go through a hiring process without the approval of the council, the mayor, borough administrator, everybody in the administration. Since February 1st, 2022, they've always had our back. They've always been very supportive. I just want to thank every one of you for always supporting the police department and giving us what we need to be community. You know, we're all about community here. We'll continue to really be about our community, try to get out there as much as we can in the community, put an officer's face to the residents so we all know each other. Anything we can do for the community, we're always about it. So once again, always thank you guys for the support. Mr. Telefranco, thank you so much. And Mayor Caprillo, I know he's probably watching here on YouTube, probably at his home, but I want to thank him too as well. So thank you guys for coming. You can stay for the council meeting, but they're going to do some business, so we'll leave now.
That's awesome.
Okay, before we move on to reports, I would like to ask Councilman Nessie to read the Arbor Day 2023 proclamation.
Proclamation celebrating Arbor Day. Whereas, in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. This holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and world. Trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. Trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other products. And whereas Tinton Falls has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now, therefore, Honorable Vito Perillo, Mayor of Tinton Falls, do hereby proclaim April 25th as Arbor Day. In the Borough of Tinton Falls, I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands.
Thank you, Councilman. Next, we'll move on to reports. Mr. Neff, Borough Engineer.
No report tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Fallon, CFO.
Yeah, I have no report. Thank you.
Doing great. Mayor, unfortunately, is not with us tonight, but he's doing well. Mr. Starkey, Director of Law.
I'm going to keep it going, Council President. I have no report tonight.
Ms. Hutchinson.
I have no report this evening. Thank you.
Move on to council reports. Ms. Buckley.
I'll break the tradition. I have a report. I'd like to thank the administration and the Tinton Falls DPW and Tinton Falls Recreation for their egg hunt celebration, fun event for the children on Sunday, which I was able to attend. Got some great photos with Councilman Dobrin and the Easter Bunny. You can embarrass us by looking at them online. Also, this past weekend, I'm the liaison to the Environmental Commission, and the Association of Environmental Commissions of New Jersey had their annual workshop here in Tinton Falls, actually at the Monmouth Rec Center on Saturday morning. And we had environmental commissioners from all over the state. We were honored because if you weren't here, we received a $1,500 grant last year, from which we used to build an osprey nest and wild habitat. And we were asked to speak on kind of project planning, how we went about that. So there were some of our environmental commission members there. And that was a great productive event. Good to make some connections with the environmental commissioners around the state as well. And I'd just like to advertise our upcoming Earth Day celebration, which is going to be at the end of this month, April 29th. Vendors, touch a truck, shredding, lots of fun, and the home run derby. It'll be at Sycamore Park. So hope everyone comes out. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Mrs. Clay?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I would just like to mention on March 25th, there was a library fundraiser fashion show, And I'd like to recognize the library board, my fellow councilman, Dr. Dobrin, and Ellen Kohlberg for their hard work. It was a great event, a lot of fun, and tons of community. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Dobrin?
I don't have any special report, and thanks, Risa, because that's what I was going to be talking about. But
You still can talk about it.
no, that's okay. You did much better job. So I just want to wish all of you a special holiday celebration during the next couple of weeks, because a lot of holidays. I want you to enjoy your families and friends, have a wonderful time, and of course, thanks to all the staff of Tinton Falls with their continued service to our borough. And that's all I have to say, Council President.
Thank you, Dr. Dobrin. Mr. Nessie?
I have no particular report this evening, Council President, but rather a statement regarding a particular issue in town. Some might know that I'm a barber and I work in a barber shop, and I use social media as a barometer to see, depending on what topics are being talked about on social media, like Facebook and Twitter, how many people are going to come into the barber shop and talk to me about current issues in town or the county. And the past week, there were many posts on social media regarding the planning board. Many people came to the barber shop to express their distaste of the planning board's decision on the Wayside Road development. On social media, many thought it was the mayor or the council who approves what gets built in town, but that's just not accurate. The planning board is made up of members of our town, volunteers who take away their time from their family and then dedicate their time to coming to planning board meetings to hear applicants and their applications. When they're sworn in, the planning board members, when they're sworn in, they're acting as judges in hearings. And they don't vote based on their emotions. They vote on what's best for the town and what is set in the ways with our master plan. A planning board cannot vote based on a project. If there's a warehouse that's permitted in a warehouse zone, they're not voting whether or not to put a warehouse in or not. They're voting on the variances such as signage or lighting or driveway access. They can't tell what to build. The planning board expresses on how they can build. And if I can, Council President, can I have Mr. Neff and Mr. Starkey, if you can chime in on this issue, it'd be very helpful.
Yeah, I think you gave a good overview. Essentially, the planning board acts on the ordinances and the master plan. So I understand a lot of people may be upset about the warehouses going in certain locations or different uses, but if that use is permitted in that zone, there's very little that the planning board can do to deny it. It's a permitted use in the zone. It's allowed there by the ordinance. Planning board can't simply deny it because they don't like the idea of a warehouse being built and the trees being cleared. We certainly understand all of the concerns, and the council has taken action on that, such as the new tree ordinance last year. So the council is aware of residents' concerns, and they are doing what they can to try and alleviate some of those issues. With the tree ordinance, if they're clearing a certain number of trees, they either have to replace those trees or pay into a fund. But again, if it's a permitted use in that zone, essentially it would have to be approved as long as it complies with the ordinance. And even though there may be variances, it is very common for applications to have a variance. It's very rare for an application not to have any variances. And the ordinance, it's not always black and white. It's not written for every application and every single property in the borough. So that's why there are variances permitted by the municipal land use law. But it's up to the applicant's professionals, their planner, their engineer, their attorney, to give testimony on those variances. And they have to essentially prove to the planning board that it's a minor variance that doesn't really apply to their site. Maybe the ordinance requires something, but they have 2 front yards, so it doesn't apply to their site. Or there's a minor lighting variance for a lighting waiver, but the extra lighting's in the driveway, so it's a safety issue. something like that. So that's kind of a general overview, I think, what some of the residents were concerned about.
And Councilman Esty, if I may, people often ask how these decisions are made, who makes them. And the good thing about being in a public forum, whether it's with the council or with the planning board, is that the decisions that are made are all done publicly, and they're all done with a hearing. So when residents are concerned about something going up down the street or in their neighboring lot, there is a hearing, and it's in this building on those applications, and people are welcome to come, often do come, and raise their concerns. And the board, the planning board and the council, they listen to the concerns and try to address them as best they can. They have their deliberations in public, they make their decisions in public, and then their rulings are placed into a resolution that is publicly available. So some people sometimes say, I don't know how this even happened. Well, it happens here, and it's advertised so people, if they can sort of keep an eye on what's going on in their town and their neighborhood, they should have a voice in what happens, and they can. Just come here and get up to this microphone and speak, or send in an email or a letter with concerns. And I can tell you that both this council and the planning board always take the residents' concerns seriously. They may not always be able to give the residents everything they want, or the applicants, but they're always heard and listened to and accommodated to the extent they can be. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neff. Thank you, Mr. Starkey. That summed it up pretty well, and I thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Lane. Thank you, Mr. Neff. Thank you, Mr. Starkey. I have no report. There are no ordinances for introduction this evening. At this time, there is an ordinance for final consideration. We will hold a public hearing on this ordinance, with comments being limited to 3-minute comments. Comments may only pertain to the ordinance. May I ask the clerk to read the title of the ordinance?
2023-1500, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45.14.
May I have a motion to open the public discussion on this ordinance?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment? Please remember to state your name and address for the record. Moving right along. May I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any council members that would like to comment on this ordinance? Hearing none, may I have a motion for adoption?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
May I have a roll call?
Ms. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Dr. Dobrin?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Yes.
Mr. Manginelli?
Yes. May I have a motion to open the public discussion?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the time the public may comment on any topic of their choice. Please state your name and address for the record, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. At this time, I would like to ask the clerk if any public comments were submitted prior to the meeting via email.
There were none.
Okay. First hand, yeah.
Can you hear me? Turn it. Okay. Elizabeth Perez, 2 Harvest Lane, Tinton Falls. First of all, hi.
Hi.
Do you remember me? Hi, John.
I hear you, I know who you are.
First, I want to say I love that we're getting female officers. Like, yay, that's awesome. Because when I was here, there was one, Elena. So you guys have done a great job. I want to say thank you to that. The second thing I want to say is, you know, I kind of want to apologize that I'm even here, but this kind of came up Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I don't have time during the day to call you as the administrator during the day. I just can't. And I was like, you know what, there's a council meeting, I'll just go. So I kind of apologize that I'm here, because it's really, the administrator can probably handle this, but I'm gonna just give it to you here because I just don't have time during the day. And it's a problem that has been affecting me for a couple of years, and it affects other teams and coaches and parents and players in town, and it's frustrating. So I manage one of the travel teams, one of the travel baseball teams in town. It's 13U now. I've been managing it for 3 years, 7 seasons. So every season I have to go to the rec department to ask for field usage. It's not Little League, it's travel. So I don't go to Little League, I go to rec to get field usage. This year, and it's a struggle every time. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Although I get along with, and I love our recreation department, it's a struggle. And so this year, I asked for 4 dates, 4 home games. Those dates are given to me from the league. So I asked in an email, very politely, courteously, can I have any time? And honestly, in the previous years, I've asked for mornings or nights or this. This year, I was like, I just need Sundays, because that's what the league asks for. So here's my 4 dates. Can I have some times for Sunday games? That's it. I got a text back from the Little League person asking for certificate of liability and names and addresses of my roster. I have no problem supplying a liability. Sent it right off to the rec department. No problem. I do it every year. Whatever, I forgot. The problem that I have is asking for names and addresses. So it's like, this is my roster. I'm happy to give you my hometowns. Fine. I have 11 kids. 8 of them are from Tinton Falls. 2 of them are from Eatontown. 1 is from Homedale. That's it. I am well aware, it's a very small community. I am well aware that the field that I need has 2 other teams that use it. Both of those teams have less than half of their kids from Tinton Falls. So when I'm being told that field usage priority is based on how many kids are on the team, are my 5 minutes up? Is that my 5 minutes? How many kids are on the team, I should have all my dates and times. And I don't even ask for times. Like, I don't even care what times they are. But a week and a half later, I'm still arguing about asking for dates and times. I need addresses. It's for this. It's for that. I'm not giving up my kids' home addresses. That I don't have the authority to do that. You want to give me a form letter that asks for that? Feel free.
Let me address this right off the bat. First of all, I'll call you and address this offline because I know exactly what you're talking about. And
It's also lights.
Right. We're going to talk about all those things.
Okay.
I'm well aware of it, and I live that life you're living now, so I understand that. I guess you're in USABL. Is that the league you're playing in? Okay. Why the Little League person is asking for addresses of your kids is beyond me, but I will address that, and I'll take the rest of your concerns, and we'll take care of them offline, okay?
That's fine. Okay. You know, it's very frustrating. And, you know, I know everybody works hard here. I did it myself. I get it. But I can't spend hours and hours for 4 measly dates and times. It's out of control. And it's the 7th season I'm doing this, and I'm done. I can't do it anymore. All right? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Nice to see everybody.
Hi, I'm Nora. I live at 16 Linda Lane, and I just want to say how great this town is for providing my school and how great it is, and I just want to say thank you. That's it.
Thank you. You don't get too many of those. Yeah. Please.
Ellen Goldberg, 90 Glenwood Drive. Good evening, everyone. I would also like to report out on the Library Fashion Show this evening. I want to thank Dr. Dobrin for everything that he has done to help the library. definitely has stepped up, and we really appreciate it. Also want to thank Ms. Buckley and Mrs. Clay, because they are so dedicated and devoted and helpful and always there, and we really appreciate that as well. Our fashion show was a huge success. I think this is our 4th time in 5 years that we've had it, and I think that this was probably the most smooth running of all of them. Personally, I woke up in the morning not stressed for the first time, and I think that says a lot, because we felt pretty ready, and we had a lot of, all the kinks pretty much worked out the last 3 times that we had it. But nothing but compliments from the parents, nothing but compliments and happy smiles from the students. And it was successful. We don't have the final numbers in as to how much we've raised, because we still have some outstanding things, but I think we did better than the previous 3 years, and that's a success right there. The fact that we're moving forward on the library is huge. It's been so long, and it's been very tiring. So we are very excited about the fact that we're getting somewhere. We actually are seeing a little pinhole of light at the end of the tunnel, and thank you. Thank you both for helping and working on this and helping us out. Thank you as well. The support is overwhelming, and we really appreciate it. We are also having our music festival August 19th in the same location that we've had it previously. So we're going to start building that up and putting that out there. But of course, the first thing we want to do is the Earth Day Fest, have that be really successful. So I wish you all a happy holiday, whatever you celebrate, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Hearing no further comment, may I have a motion to close public discussion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does any member of council have anything to add? Now we will move to the consent agenda. Before we do, are there any items any member of the council would like removed to be voted upon separately? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Dr. Dobrin?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Yes.
Mr. Manginelli?
Yes. This concludes today's business. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is now adjourned.